Welcome to the Railroad Station. Psh. It's a train coming into the station. So, I'm going to try something. This probably won't work, but I'm going to read you one of the detective stories I have written about Aldrich Weiss with Bixby Gold. And I'm going to do all three parts. Don't really want to. This is why we have these collaborations that we speak so highly of. But I'll give you an idea of what to expect from one of these one-act plays that I've created. So this one is called The Armchair Detective. Now, this was written by me March 25th of last year. I was going to submit this for the One Act Festival here in Owensboro, Kentucky. I just never got around to it. I didn't get finished in time. I think the deadline was March 1st, and well, I missed it by a couple of days. But it was a lot of fun writing it, and I was thinking how it would be cool to have. Well, I don't want to spoil it. You'll hear it. Okay, so this is called The Armchair Detective. The setting is Paris, France, in another time. All right, synopsis. We are introduced to a Sherlock Holmes-type character, Mr. Weiss, by our narrator, Bixby Gold. Bixby muses on a time when his friend solves a murder without even going to the crime scene. I kind of just spoils it, but it's fine. Inspector Pierce comes to their flat and speaks of the baffling case that has the prefect stumped. As the story begins, we see two armchairs down center stage facing each other. Behind the chair sits a small table and two wooden stools. Two men sit in the armchairs on the stage, frozen in media res. The man on the left looks like a short, scruffy, thick, bespectacled Albert Einstein lighting a pipe. This is Mr. Weiss. Across from him sits another man. He looks a lot like a tall Walt Disney. He's got the mustache, cardigan, and all. This dumbfounded-looking man is Bixby Gold. Weiss remains frozen as Bixby turns towards the audience. He gets up and he plays it off like we just snuck up on him. Hello there. You rattled my old bones. My name's Bixby Gold. I want you to follow this memory. Across from me sits the Sherlockian Aldrich Weiss. He's what you might call a gumshoe, a PI, or, since we're in France, the Detective Privé. I think I'm saying that right. This time I was his aide-de-camp, his junior partner in crime, as it were. Well, not in crime, the opposite of that. The year is 1900 and... Well, it's not all that important, but we'd been living together for a couple years by now and had gone on several wonderful adventures. It was about this time when my love for animation was in full swing, and I aimed to add Mr. Weiss to my cadre of characters. He was a celebrated consulting detective of the utmost clout, with a penchant for fun, unusual head-scratchers. I thought he'd be perfect for one of my tunes. Well, I remember a time when he was using only his sense of smell. He tied up the mystery of Grandma's lost cookbooks in a nice pink bow. You see, you could tell where they were because the books gave off a distinctive aroma of her home country of Bavaria. The spices had soaked into the pages, and when the ne'er-do-well attempted to flee with his ill-gotten gains, Weiss sniffed him out. Shit the nose, so he would say. It was a classic. Tonight, though, was a night I would never forget, when my friend's powers of deduction were on full display. What is about to transpire will change the way you look at modern investigation today. Bixby returns to his seat, and their conversation resumes. My dumpling-headed friend, you forget I am Aldrich Weiss, not some rapscallion raccoon. Oh, but you see, Mr. Weiss, it's really quite simple. I do not have time to be a cartoon. I have very important things that I do, and very important things that I say, but I am not an animation. That is fine. Thank you, but no, you may go. I live here, Mr. Weiss. You are a work of art. Listen, you wouldn't have to do a thing. I'm just sketching you out. I thought you'd be flattered. But the raccoon, ay, why not now? Yeah, yes, that is on par with the brilliant mind of mine. Raccoons are, I don't know, what do they say? The trash bandits. Oh, well, would you just take a look at the sketch? I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Bixby shows Vice his sketchbook. It is a drawing of Vice as an anthropomorphic raccoon. Well, that's pretty good. But where are his pants? Come on now, Mr. Vice. Forgive me. It is a good drawing. Yes, okay, all right. Perhaps it is because I am a bit flummoxed. The crime, it is not thriving. My mind, it is, the dead fish. Well, don't say that. Surely something will come along. But honestly, Mr. Vice, isn't the lack of crime a good thing? Are you crazy? The doorbell rings. Well, saved by the bell, it seems. Mr. Vice slumped into his chair. Show them away. I am in mourning. I am at the end of my rope. As Bixby heads to the door, the bell rings 2 more times in short bursts. Vice perks up, a bit waiting for the final bell. The final bell occurs, and Vice is out of his seat and at the door. He flings open the door. Inspector Pierce. Sure enough, at the door, an older balding man with a thick mustache stands in the doorway. This is Inspector Pierce. Bonjour, Mr. Vice. Strange to see you opening your own door. Are you ill? No, my friend. I am engaged. Come. We have been waiting for you. You have? Bixby, I pray you have made enough for our esteemed inspector. Well, that's not really necessary. I simply came to... Nonsense, Bixby. Food for the fleek. I am not used to this type of hospitality from you, dear sir. Well, Bixby then returns with, well, he is flummoxed. Oh, dear, flummoxed. Perhaps I should leave. What is that, did you say? Well, it's a dreadful business I have. Perhaps another time. We'll pause right here. Pierce's voice keeps changing, but, whatever. Just go with it. Vice says, what is dreadful is how my mind weeps for the lack of the hunt. The prey escapes the clutches of Aldrich. Vice, this cannot be. I must have a case. I don't know. I warrant you. You have a yarn that needs to be spun. Come, sit, let us hear it. Pierce says, as it happens, I do have a story to tell, but I am not looking for your assistance. The boys and I are well within our powers to solve this, murder. Mr. Vice, please, you'll spoil the dinner. But now that he mentions it, a good old-fashioned murder never fails to tug the ear. Your continued morbid curiosity confounds me, Bix. Say, when do you head back to the States? We are not here to discuss Bixby's travel plans. Come on out with it, you flippant frog. There's the Weiss I know. Sorry, old sport. I need to get you firing all cylinders. Now he's British. It's fine. Yes, I do have a tale that has confounded the prefect and the gendarmerie. It be our only hope. We are at our wits' end. The victim in question is one of some notoriety, and we are trying to keep it hush-hush until we can succinctly solve this crime. Who is the deceased? Cornelius K. Delaray. This name, it means nothing to me. C.K. Delaray. Well, he's one of the founding members of the Odyssey Guild. Adventurer, explorer, crypt hunter, tomb raider, treasure hunter, and the list goes on. Well, he is world-renowned diamond. He's a world-renowned diamond hunter. Vaz. Mr. Vice. Well, this is a tragedy. This is a tragedy, Aldrich. Yes, it is very sad. Now our job is to find out who the culprit is so that the CK may rest easy with the killer behind bars. Come. I have the who, now the rest of the 5 W's. Aldrich sits in the armchair, crosses one leg over his lap. He leans forward with his palms into a thinking position. Why are you sitting down? Wouldn't you like to have a go at the body or the crime scene? No, do you not smell Bixby's divine cordon bleu? I would not wish to spoil this meal. In fact, I will solve this crime before dinner. Well, it's impossible. You're telling me that you're going to solve a 2-week-old murder without so much a footstep of legwork? My friend, you forget. I am Elric Weiss. Now let us see. 2 weeks ago. Yes. There you see, I have the when. Continue. Well, you're a bit of a screwball. Thank you. But we have wasted far too much time with flattery today. All right, yes, 2 weeks ago, Mr. Delaray returned from France after a 6-month archaeological dig in the Mojave Desert. Oh, California, nice. Oh, yeah, that's the one. Turns out the man was after some kind of creature. Well, a dinosaur? So not the diamonds. No, Bex is right. It's those creatures that's as big as a house. Dinosaurs, that's what they call them. It's all the rage right now. How so? Well, these creatures lived millions of years ago. Word is an asteroid touched down and wiped them out, and their remnants are found buried deep within Earth's crust. So we know how the dinosaurs died. Yet that mystery has been solved. But what we do not yet know is how C.K. Delaray died. So shall we continue? You're right. Oh, yes, he came back home late that night, and that's when a killer must have struck. His body was found the next morning, face down in one of his bags, head smashed in. Do we have the weapon? What else was around him? No weapon, just a bit of luggage in the body, like I said. Is there contents? Well, so that's the problem. We imagine it was something of value, and that is why he was killed. But frankly, we don't know what was in that bags because they were empty. Oh? Yeah, we barely got a look at the deceased or the luggage because his dogs were going bananas. In fact, it wasn't until after Ignatius, his brother, continue. It wasn't until after Ignatius drug the dogs away that we got a glimpse of him. Those Magimons desecrated the crime scene. The whole body was covered in dirt and such. The luggage was filled with it. With dirt? Yes. That is the problem with the canines, very protective of their owners. Well, they all guard dogs. Tell me more about this Ignatius. Who else resides in the home? Who else was there that night? Well, there's Jacqueline Delaroy, as the wife of the deceased, but she'd taken a sleeping draught. Wait, Jackie D? Oh, yes, the American ball player. Well, how do you like that? Now you talk about a hum nigger. And go on. Well, she's almost as famous as CK. Her batting average is outstanding. I know neither of this. Just continue. Oh, there was little Nicolette, the daughter. She's about 3 or 4. Dirk, the son, he's 18. His girlfriend, Avra Forte, 17. Phaedra, the mother, was 53. Winifred, the grandmother, 74. And Dr. Jules Saroche, a family friend. And Ignatius. It sounds like a party. Right, it was partly. They had received word that CK was coming home. Strange to have so many people under one roof. Is this a close family? Well, we surely were. But that many relations, I don't know if I could handle it. That's quite right. From what we gather, the family had fell upon hard times after the war, and then thus they lived with each other ever since. CK is the main breadwinner. Yeah, this doctor, what about him? Oh, I didn't like him, sir. Oh, why not? Well, frankly, he seemed a bit belchy to me. Also heard that he had lent a great deal of money to the Delaray over some investment deal. When I inquired further, he stormed out. Yes, being accused of murder will do that. Well, of course, as he left, the dogs growled, barked, and nearly tore into him. You know, they say a dog can smell a crook. Who says this? Everyone. Perhaps. As for the wife, a sleeping draught, why would she take that if she knew her husband were coming home? Well, that's a good point. I guess I didn't think about that. But whether there's any merit to what she did, or indeed take that draught, this was confirmed by the party. She was in bed by 10. Ignatius checked on her at 11, and she was sound asleep. Unless... As was the party, when did they leave? Well, they didn't. They stayed all night. And the body was found in the morning. Yes. Who found him? Well, unfortunately, he was the child. That's terrible. Yes, she was with the grandmother, no? Or was the great-grandmother? No, they don't live in the house. Surely the son. No, he was... Oh, I comprehend. One moment. Vice closes his eyes and thinks. We hear him talking to himself with words like, well, it could be. So it seems. But maybe. Until, I have solved the crime. That's impossible. Are you sure? Well, yes, it is quite simple. As they would say, elementary. In fact, I am surprised. You, Inspector, did not think of it. Let us look at the facts. Mix, how much time until the food is ready? Well, I'd say just about under 3 minutes. Well, I will solve it in two. Timing. The case of Cornelius K. Delaray is one of greed and deception. We will start with the obvious weapon of choice. What appears to me is the victim was stopped upon his route to the house. The assailant inquired about the contents of his bags. It seems that our adventurer was keen to show this treasure. Only it wasn't jewels, as the murderer expected. It was dirt. But in that dirt lie the true treasure. Fossils, dinosaur bones, which, as we have discussed, are more valuable in some circles than diamonds. But not the killer's circles. I imagine 'twas a bone that was used to crush the man's skull, perhaps his femur. The reason we cannot find this weapon is it disintegrated on impact or it was eaten by the dogs. Which brings me to my next point. The killer, or shall I say, the conspirator and the killer. We have no further than to look at the doctor. No, but it was the doctor's fee that must be paid. You mentioned that there was a debt owed to the doctor by Delaray, though you did not mention which Delaray. Well, Ignatius didn't specify. Of course he did not. He was the conspirator and therefore was hiding the fact that Jacqueline Delaray is the murderer. What? Yes, the illustrious ball player Jackie D took the fatal swing. You mentioned the batting average. The stats do not matter, yet the fact that she has an amazing batting average tells me one thing. She has well within her power to deliver the blow. Why? It is the money, my friend. Oh, you cannot know that. There's no proof. Sure there is. The dogs. What? You told me the doctor was nearly torn to shreds by the guard dogs. You told me you were nearly mauled by them. So why wasn't the murderer? Because the dogs knew the murderer. Exactly. The dogs did not bark when Delaray was killed. It could not have been Ignatius, because corroborating evidence puts him in the home all night. The only other suspect it could possibly be is Jackie D, whose alibi is only vouched for by her conspirator. His job was to keep the family inside. Hers was to make the move and steal the jewels. Well, I'll be. Ding, ding. And that'll be dinner. Ha, ha. Bon appetit. They all laugh. Fin.